This time we're going to discuss the different physical aspect of country Canada, including the location, country size, type of government, currency, and landmark. Canada location. Canada occupies most of the northern part of North America. The country is bounded by the North Atlantic Ocean on the east, the North Pacific Ocean on the west, and the Arctic Ocean on the north. Canada is the world's second largest country after Russia. According to Canada FAQ, the country stretches across 3.8 million square miles, 9.9 million square kilometres, which means the UK could fit into Canada over 40 times. The second largest lake in the world and the largest lake in Canada is Lake Superior at 31,700 square miles. It actually crosses over into the US. The largest lake that is entirely in Canada is Great Bear Lake, 12,028 square miles.
Canada has a parliamentary democracy, and this is different from the presidential form of government. The key differences between the parliamentary and presidential form of government is in the role of the head of state. For example, in the US, the head of state is the president, who therefore serves as both the head of state and as the leader of the government. Meanwhile, in Canada, Queen Elizabeth is the head of state, apolitically so, she serves everyone rather than just her own political ideology, whilst the Prime Minister is the head of government and runs the government in the name of the Queen. In a parliamentary democracy, the voters elect the legislature called a parliament. The parliament then elects the Prime Minister.
The Canadian dollar is the official currency of Canada. First introduced in 1858, since that moment all accounting is made in the national currency. The Canadian dollar most requested. Canada's currency is the Canadian dollar CAD. It's available in 5, 10, 20, 50 and $100 paper note. All of Canada uses the Canadian dollar. However, certain retailers throughout the country will accept the US dollar as a form of payment for goods. The massive falls straddling the Canadian-American border are perhaps the best known of the country's natural landmarks. CN Tower, Toronto's most iconic landmark, is the 1.15-foot CN Tower, the tallest freestanding structure in the world from 1976, when it was built, to 2007. While the tower does serve a purpose, its 335-foot antenna is used to broadcast television, radio, and cell signals. It's also the most popular at. Canada features black-blue lakes, numerous rivers, majestic western mountains, rolling central plains, and forested eastern valleys. The Canadian Shield, a hilly region of lakes and swamps, stretches across northern Canada and has some of the oldest rocks on Earth. Canada's most outstanding physical feature is the Shield, a rugged area of Precambrian rock that surrounds Hudson Bay and covers most of eastern and central Canada, almost half the country. This semi-barren area and the Arctic archipelago to the north are sparsely populated and, as yet, largely unknown. Next, we will proceed to the cultural aspect of Canada. Throughout Canada's history, its culture has been influenced by European culture and traditions, mostly by the British and French, and by its own indigenous cultures. English and French are the two official languages of Canada. Canada got its flag after 100 years of becoming a country, the 15th of February 1965. Canadian nationality law details the conditions by which a person is a national of Canada. The primary law governing these regulations is the Citizenship Act. In most cases, you are a Canadian citizen if you were born in Canada. You are a Canadian citizen if you were born in another country after February 14, 1977, and one of your parents was a Canadian citizen at the time of your birth. known as the Just Society. Canada's culture is underpinned by its tolerance, respect and community orientation. Canadians are generally individualistic, yet they also emphasize and value everyone's contribution to their community. The culture of Canada embodies the artistic, culinary, literary, humour, musical, political and social elements that are representative of Canadians. Some important features of Canadian culture: honesty, tolerance, fairness, unity in diversity, modesty, informality, sensitivity. Canada's top 3 major ports: Port of Vancouver. Overseen by the Vancouver Fraser Port Authority, this port is the country's largest port. Second is Port of Montreal and Port of Prince Rupert. The Port of Vancouver is the largest port in Canada and the 4th largest in North America by tons of cargo, facilitating trade between Canada and more than 170 world economies. Second major port is Port of Montreal. The Port of Montreal is a cruise and transshipment point located on the St. Lawrence River in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The port operates as an international container port where it services Toronto and the rest of central Canada, the Midwestern United States, and the northeastern United States. Third is the Prince Rupert Port. Port Rupert, or Port of Prince, is a port city in British Canada. The total population of Prince Rupert is 12,508 to 0111508. Thank you for watching. God bless.